Hello, everybody, and welcome to NOS Startup World. Welcome everybody to. I would like to welcome first of all the jury with Andrew, Miguel, and Tomas. You will be able to say hi in a moment. But first of all, and let's go straight to the point. We would like to welcome these amazing startups on Deep Tech, and we will start with Manuel Oliveira and Kit AR that will show us how to enable manufacturers, how to enable shop floor workers. So technology and people in the center of it all. So Manuel, when you want, the stage is yours, and let's 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 see.
Okay. Thank you, João. Good morning, everyone. I am the CEO and the co-founder of KitAR. And in a nutshell, what we do is we provide manufacturing companies with an industrial augmented reality solution that not only shows workers what they need to do at any particular point in time, but it also verifies if what they've done has been done correctly. And if not, give them the necessary instructions to correct their problem. Now, we at KTR believe that no matter what advancements exist in technology, materials, and processes, the human being will always be at the center of a foundation pillar of manufacturing. But at the same time, a lot of information is being required to make those decisions, and the complexity will increase. And therefore, our vision is to become the platform that assists the worker on the manufacturing shop floor, so they will avoid doing mistakes. Because research shows that for a manufacturing company, the cost of poor quality amount can take up to 5 to 40% of their generated revenue, which if you look at the worldwide turnover of manufacturing companies, it amounts to 35 trillion US dollars. Now, what types of problems we're addressing? Well, these are a mere example. We have defect correction, rework, increased downtime, loss of productivity because the amount of time that it takes increases, and also sustainability because every time you have a mistake and you need to do rework, the parts go to waste. And then, of course, you have unnecessary logistics. So this is a complex problem to address. The way we solve it is our platform has four interlocked components working together. We start with the kit build that gives us the engineer a tool, an easy tool, a low-code interface to be able to design the process, to model the process. Based on that, then they can, at a click of a button, they create the instruction sets to be consumed in what we call the kit assist that's running on an augmented reality device. And this allows an operator to go through the process step by step. And at certain points in time, we have a kit smart module that we leverage the sensors and the context for a person to evaluate, for the system to evaluate whether the person did a good job or not. And through the usage of the system, we collect data to then extract insights for process optimization and to do also quality traceability. Now, we're mainly operating in the automotive, aeronautics, electronic manufacturing. I can't show the videos from customers, but here's a demo kit that we did where right now what you're seeing is the assembly of the steps where the person is being told where to put the things, the tools to use, and then following this step, the visualization of the system being able to see what you did and giving you feedback because it's recognizing, okay, which screws were present and the holograms disappear and giving you the all clear to proceed. Now, the market is it's very big. Just in the US and Europe alone, it's approaching the 50 billion, of which we will the serviceable attainable market by 2026 for us will be 38 million. There are competitors out there. Here's a list of some of the key ones. The key thing to keep in mind is our differentiators are how we create content because we do it based on knowledge. The quality assurance is done automatically, and we also apply process mining to derive the insights. And of course, we can't do this without the incredible team. I have more than 20 years of applied manufacturing research. João Costa, our CTO, he can build. If he says it can be built, it is built. He's a master executioner. And of course, we have Luis Martins, that is a well-renowned voice in the XR community, and and everybody knows him to communicate all things regarding AR. And of course, we have hands-on advisors that keep us on the bleeding edge. Thank you very much. Any questions now?
Johan.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed, Manuel. That was, and I know it's always really challenging to keep it within such a tight time frame. So listen, thank you very much indeed for the presentation. A couple of things really spring to mind. First things first, you mentioned obviously not expecting you to share customer names, appreciate the confidentiality, but how many customers are you actually working with at the moment?
Okay, right now at the moment we're working with 3 customers, in which, for example, in one of them, when we go through the customer journey, it always starts with a pilot because they want to try the solution. After they tried it and they are able to build their business case, then they do a buy no buy decision. For example, in one of them, when we went with the first pilot, after 4 weeks, they turn around to us and say, you know what? They saw that the productivity gain was like 20% improvement. Yep. And on the very first day they tried it, there was no mistakes. So they said, you know what? We want to use the system. We're going through the buying because we're not in the, the buying cycle of annual budget. It was out. But in the meantime, we want a license to be able to carry on using the pilot because it gave them value. So and then opportunities of more processes within the company emerge, because once they've tried it, they see it works, they start saying, okay, I want to be using it in this process and that process. And it's all driven by being able to, when you want to achieve the maximum quality and helping you avoid the cost of poor quality in those cases.
And a very, very quick follow-up, because I know my fellows will have questions. Yeah. Commercial model, how are you actually charging for it?
So we charge a very small amount for doing the pilot because it helps to get the commitment. But afterwards, what we do is there's a setup fee, and then there's an annual recurring license fee.
And roughly, I'm sure it's on complexity, but roughly values?
Values, it's between 50 to 60,000 euros on an annual basis.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Hi, Manuel. Congratulations for your pitch. I would like to ask 2 things. First of all, how much time does it take from the identification of the process until it's completely up and running? And second, what devices do you use on the endpoint? So, because I saw there's something like a goggles or something that the operator uses. How are you using it?
Okay, if you don't mind, I'll start with the last question. So we're actually device agnostic in the sense that we're not tied to a particular device. However, having said that, we have invested a lot in the Microsoft HoloLens. The reason why is because we need to know to do the automatic quality assurance, we leverage a lot of the devices sensors. So the depth camera, the 4 cameras at HoloLens. So far, out of everything exists in the market, we went for the HoloLens, and we've kept that choice, always open for alternatives, and we're going for the head-mounted display to keep the hands free, because you could think of doing a tablet, but then you defeat the purpose of a person having that assistance while they're doing the job. Regarding how long does it take? It depends very much on the complexity of the process, whether the data is available, because sometimes you'd be surprised. We're talking about Industry 4.0 going to 5.0, but not everything is digitally available. Like you asked, give us the information on the process so we can have a look. It's not that easy. But what I can tell you, it can take you between a month to 2 months, depending on is the information readily available or not. And then adding information is very fast. So, for example, in this production line where there was all cars, we took a certain amount of time to set up the process, but then within a week we added 5 more cars to the process because the process was made. It was just adding in new models, and the models were different, but the operations were very similar from one car to the other, and therefore it was quite fast putting things in.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have hi Manuel. Thank you very much. First of all, it's an incredible solution. Congratulations. So it's really we really have the feel of being in the future right now. So this is incredible. In the few seconds that I have left, I will just ask you, what are the main challenges that you anticipate further going at this point in Portugal?
Within my personal challenge from a company perspective, it's the decision cycles within companies. They take long. Yeah. From a technology, there's a lot of opportunities there, and we have a lot of ideas. The issue more is the relationship with a large customer. Early adopters are there, and so on. It just those decision cycle take their amount of time, and these are systems that there's a certain price tag to it. It takes time for them to trust the system. They need to see it for themselves. That's the main challenge that we have. But as we build the reputation and we get a foothold in the market, this time will decrease. Especially if you're already within a company that already knows you, then cycles are very short.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Manuel, and thank you very much, KTR. Also, thanks to the jury for the questions. Let's now move on with the Bandora that will show us how AI can be in favor of autonomous building operations. And welcome, Marcia. The stage is yours.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I'm Marcia. I'm CEO and co-founder of Bandora, and we've been talking about smart buildings from the last 20 years. Well, it's true that they gave us more and complex and deeply sensorized buildings. They gave us interoperability. We can access these buildings, how they work from anywhere, but they have a strong human supervision dependence. And that's why, and the truth is that the facility managers don't have a clue how to operate them. That's why they keep spending a lot, they keep wasting a lot of energy. 90% of the complaints from the occupants regards heating and cooling, and we have a huge amount of unplanned downtime costs. That's why Bandora is a virtual facility manager, fully dedicated 24/7 to monitor, analyze, correlate, and take decisions each 5 minutes in order to increase the energy performance from the buildings, save energy, while keep the occupants' comfort. And how do we know the comfort standards from the occupants? Because we also develop a Bandora Me. It is our mobile app where occupants can give their feedback about comfort. On top of that, since we know how the energy patterns work, we can also flag when there is a suspicious behavior that can origin a malfunction in order to slice unexpected downtime and maintenance. Accordingly to the European Association of Building Controls and Automation, there is an opportunity of energy savings of about 40% if you have a smart building completely fine-tuned to the building's routines and for the activities that are being performed inside. It's true that this is a huge market. I mean, there is a lot of startups in this market, but we've been working on this from the last 4 years. we've been analyzing the market, analyzing the competition, and now we are able to deliver to the market a solution that is hardware and software agnostic. Against our competition, we can deliver one building in 1 week with a remote setup. And why this is possible? Because our solution is adaptable from the first time, and our solution is one size fits all. As I mentioned, this is not only a big market, but the most interesting thing about this market is 15% of the commercial buildings are already smart, and they are growing with the 12% year-on-year growth rate. So that's why we are so excited about this. And because of all that I've been talking to you, we are a purely software as a service solution, and we can deliver a yearly fee against the size of the building. I want to show our financials. We deliver our first version last year, and we already have 74 buildings in our platform. We already have some customers that can talk. They can talk about this, and I'm so sorry for the background noise. And we are working now in the seed round that we hope to finish in the first semester of this year. And all of this is possible because we have a fantastic team. This is not only data science, this is also domain expertise. So we have 2 mechanical engineers, experts in building energy comfort. We have 2 data scientists, 2 IoT hackers, database and web developers, in order that they are ready, experienced, and skilled to overcome any Bandora's challenge. Bandora, when smart is not enough. And I'm really excited to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, Marcia, thank you so much for your presentation, and congratulations on your product. You are addressing this for only to buildings or for buildings for offices and people, right? Not for industry and fabrics or whatever. Is this correct, or are you planning to help industries improve their effectiveness, or what's your plan?
Okay, just I'm in isolation because I have my kids positive, so I'm so sorry for this background noises. They are literally killing themselves.
Hope everything is okay.
Thank God.
I know the drill.
That background noise. That's life.
I've got mine locked up, so it's all good, Marcia. Don't worry.
Well, the first idea it was to only commercial buildings. I mean, hospitals, shopping malls, offices, because they are the big buildings. They have a legislation, European Directive of Energy Buildings Performance, and they are obliged to have a system that can automatize and control their buildings. So our first thoughts was on this segment. However, industry actually on the last year we were invited to some tenders from industry, and we were surprised that some of the industries have already this kind of SCADA systems in place. So we are already to integrate with their SCADA systems, and just for the environment, just for HVAC, only for the lights, etc. We are not focused on the production line, of course. We are only concerned of the environment conditions.
Right, thank you.
Hi, Marcia. So thank you for your presentation and for your solution, and congratulations. So I bring you the opposite question from from Miguel actually. So I was thinking like, okay, so this is applied. The examples you use they are applied for company buildings and co-working spaces, or I imagine, and we have been living an opposite trend, which is people are spending more time at homes. So would it be on your pipeline to develop something, let's say you would have contact with a big telecom company, not saying there is any in this call, but how would you approach it, and would it be on your pipeline to deliver that service at home?
Well, that's actually a great question, because we panic on March 2020, honestly. And after this first lockdown, we realized that there was an opportunity, because facility managers, they were complaining about they spent the same amount of energy with the empty building. And that's completely insane. So that's why buildings must be more flexible, and they must be prepared to adapt to this new reality, because the facility managers don't have a clue if they're going to be 30% of occupancy, or 40 or 100. It's impossible. So that's why systems like Pandora makes even more sense. And about the household segment, right? The residential segment. Actually, we have a project from the PRR. I don't know how to call it. Just for that was approved for the second phase. It's public. For that segment, I mean, to create a platform for the Pandora, and also more features, of course, more partners, but just for the residential segment. And hopefully, let's fingers crossed, that is going to be approved.
Thank you.
Great, thanks a lot, and thanks, Tomasz. Marcia, well done, and look, well done in the environment as well. I know it's incredibly challenging presenting when there's so much going on around you. Great to see the structure, fantastic. You got customers on board. One of the things I noticed in the team, though, I'm just wondering, how are you developing opportunities? How are you developing sales at the moment?
Yeah, it's mostly me, and it's been really difficult, and that's why we want so much this seed round, in order to have a fully dedicated team for sales and marketing. That's crucial. We've been working so much in these pilots, in the first customers. That's why we have a few amount of revenue, but well, we've been developing all for these 4 years, because we have really aggressive competition.
Sure.
But that's what we want to achieve after our seed round, is to have a fully dedicated, and we know for sure that with that team we're going to scale immediately.
Cool. Excuse me. Since you've been involved directly in the sales process, 74 customers, I believe you mentioned at the moment. Roughly, what's the length of the sales cycle that you've been through to be able to bring those on board?
Okay, well, that actually depends. There are some that are really quick. I mean, because since it's a software as a service, it's really quick. If they don't like it, they just turn off. That's
right.
easy. But some of them, because, well, depends of the moment. We have a customer that I didn't mention in the list. It's under an NDA, but since it's a new building, we had to wait for the hardware. And we spent 6 months. But we have other customers that it was okay. Show me, and on the next week we were integrating everything, putting all the data in the cloud and into our platform, and it was really easy. So that actually depends. That's not
okay. It depends on the complexity of obviously the solution that's currently in play and how it integrates into yours.
Of course. We've been working also in fast foods, quick service restaurants.
Okay.
And that's really easy because they are franchise and they have a lot of restaurants, and that's really easy to deploy and to have an immediately approved. But that depends on the customer.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Marcia.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Marcia. Amazing pitch, and thank you for the questions from the jury. Let me just, before we move on, let me just advise the startup speakers to go in the platform chat to answer a few questions from the public. So in the meantime, when you finish your presentation, you can go there or send a team member to reply to those also important questions. And now moving on with the locker, I would like to welcome Miguel Pontes, who will show us how Locker is empowering digital lives.
Hello everybody. My name is Miguel. I'm the head of business strategy at Locker. And basically we help banks and other institutions with our Journey Builder platform. So let me begin a bit about the context where we came up. We were founded in 2015, and we basically realized that banks and other institutions have a huge mission to address. There is that customers in banking, like me, João, and everybody that is here, that we all have our credit cards, our mortgages, etc. We just want and desire like a seamless and frictionless banking journey. So basically, I want to do banking in a connected manner and in an end-to-end experience anytime, anywhere. And regarding the digital transformation, we are seeing challenges arise everywhere in the ecosystem, and traditional banks need to evolve because their clients want a comfortable experience. They don't want any friction on the journey. They want a seamless manner to verify their identity, who they are, and they want to do it anywhere. So banks need to become more client-centric. And who is Locker, right? So Locker basically brings an innovative and client-centric approach to this digital transformation hurdle that we are seeing. So we accelerate banks and their digital transformation through what we call Journey as a Service. Our platform basically is completely white label. So banks can really just put the brand and it's set to go. It's modular, so we can activate and deactivate the components through different journeys and regarding different risk levels, etc. Business rules also. It's completely on cloud. It's API enabled. All the journeys are real time, so the end client has the best experience ever. And we have a set of pre-built and turnkey journeys that we can deploy in few weeks or 1-2 months. What kind of journeys can we offer? So basically through Locker's Journey as a Service, banks can really unleash several pre-built journeys. Example of this are remote account opening, so customer onboarding, could be merchant onboarding, could be real-time consumer credit, buy now, pay later, or even customer data update. So nobody today wants to go to the branch or call someone to update their credit card or update their passport or citizen ID. You can do it through a digital journey powered by Locker. We have several components. So our platform is modular, is really flexible, and you can have the acquisition setup defined in different manners. The identity verification we can do through a face match or a self-recorded video or video call with an operator. We can analyze documents through our OCR. Regarding the biometric scores, we can basically make a different flow and create a new journey, okay? And how do we empower banks? How is Locker really a digital enabler of financial institutions? So first of all, the deployment is very quick because it's in a plug and play approach through the API. The second one is that the platform is completely omnichannel. So you can start to open the account or to apply a credit on the app or on the website and finish on the branch. Then you have a completely audit-proof solution as we put our legal team to understand the pain points of the client. We can empower new client segments to be captured by the financial institutions, a whole new level of cross-selling, and it's much more cost-effective. The platform is completely compliance-oriented. It's all based on AI. The time to market is very quick, okay? And we have a long-term partnership as we don't charge per process, but we charge per successful journey. So it's a completely different manner. Regarding the competitors, yeah, we have some competitors in the ecosystem, but they don't do what Locker does because they are one size fits all. They are not experts in banking. Their pricing model is not fair as they charge per process, and we implement the Locker solution by ourselves or through Locker certified partners. So as we usually say, it's all about JAS, Journey as a Service.
Look at that. He's such a pro that he's actually managed to finish 40 seconds early. Well done, Miguel. Thank you very much indeed for the presentation. Really interesting solution. One of the things I'm really interested in, a little bit more about the team itself. Can you tell me a little bit about the structure of the team and how you're set up at the moment, please?
Yeah, I can tell you. So our CEO has a PhD on artificial intelligence, Ricardo Costa. He was the guy that helped to implement things like the citizen ID of Portugal, also the electronic passport of Portugal, and him and the co-founders that were basically friends on the college, they basically started Locker, and they have a very extensive background on digital identity, authentication, verification, and even in digital signature. So, for example, they were the guys that helped to implement the board control on the Schengen space. So basically, we pick up all this knowledge, okay, and they founded Locker, and we are now basically around 80 people. I would say that 80% is like a tech team. So we really have a huge expertise on implementing things, because if you see banks and the financial institutions, they are not tech companies. They are not like an Airbnb or something. So if the other competitors, what they do is that they dump APIs, and that banks, they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to build the journey, and their clients want an end-to-end journey. They don't care about how is it made. So we basically deploy a solution. This is like the breaking point against the competition.
Fantastic. And if the guys don't mind, I'd just like to ask one more question. You mentioned the model where they pay on successful completion of a journey. How is that determined?
That's a question as well.
Sorry, Miguel. Sorry, that was the question. I'll turn it over to him.
So basically the business model is pretty simple, right? We have a setup fee that is a one-time shot that you pay, okay? Then we have a licensing fee that is annual and recurring. And then that licensing fee that is basically calculated on the estimated volume of processes that our client give us is charged per successful journey. So we only consume that licensing fee per successful journey. So imagine that you have 10 clients trying to open an account, or 10 clients trying to do buy now, pay later, right? But only 5 pass the KYC. Okay, so we only charge a unitary cost for that 5. So we share a bit of the risk with our clients because we want to be different. And we think that this kind of approach, and even startups, should be more on a partnership approach and less on a tech provider approach.
Fantastic, Miguel. Thank you. Sorry, Miguel.
Not a problem. Thank you, Miguel, and congratulations for your pitch. Regarding clients, you talked with us with some prior clients prior for Locker. How are you doing in terms of clients? If you can name a few, or if you can just give me the numbers. Or...
No, it's public. So I can tell you that we have around 15 to 20 clients, Portugal, Spain, and Norway. We are now expanding and already closing projects for this year in regions like Switzerland, Benelux, GCC region, so Dubai, United Emirates, Oman, Turkey, and also Latam. Examples of clients that we have, it's like, we can tell you like Santander, okay? We are, for example, a global certified provider of Santander in all their footprint. And we have others as Novo Banco, Montepio, etc. We are basically market leaders in Portugal. And we are now bringing that expertise to other countries, because I don't know if you are aware, but Portugal, from a compliance perspective, KYC, AML, etc., is one of the countries that is more demanding the central bank. So if we are market leaders in Portugal and we are audit proof, we have never failed an audit, we are bringing that expertise to other regions.
Thank you. Much.
So thank you, Miguel, for your presentation, and congratulations. First of all, Miguel, now you stole my question, so I will have to think of another one quickly, but it's okay. It's all good. I have a few Miguel Pontes, I've seen your presentation a few times already in other forums, but you've changed the solution. The solution has changed. So what you did a few years ago, or it's completely different, and that's incredible. And I think that maybe it will be interesting for you to share the main learnings and the main challenges of this change.
It's a very good question. So basically, we have evolved. Not let's say transforming or change, but we have evolved. Basically, we have shifted or revamped our value proposition. So in 2015, we were founded as a pure digital onboarding platform. Okay. But we were being perceived as, okay, these guys only open accounts, or these guys are like the other competitors that I've mentioned here, like an ID Now or Jumio. But we are not. Why? Because we really, first of all, we are experts in banking. We are not a one-size-fits-all as the other guys. And then our platform is really powerful. Like the AI and machine learning not only allow you to having the digital onboarding journey, so remote account opening, but you can plug and play and complement your value offer with different journeys. So you can start with opening the account. Then you say, no, I also want to offer my client a journey of real-time consumer credit. Okay, we have it, plug and play. It's ready to deploy. And then you say, now I want buy now pay later. Like everybody talks about buy now pay later. I want to be at the store and generate a virtual card and do buy now pay later. Okay, we have it. And then you say, okay, but now I've created a digital identity. Now I have digital journeys. How do my clients update their details? And it's obligatory by the ML5. So we also have now a digital journey for that. So basically, we deliver a single solution, a single platform that delivers end-to-end solutions. So another differentiator. Then we basically have multiple journeys. And the other guys, if we said that, no, we are digital onboarding. Yeah, but we were not. So we basically were not communicating in the best manner all the power that we could unleash through Locker's solution. That's why we have evolved to journey as a service. Basically, you can tackle your digital transformation journey by journey.
Thank you, and congratulations on your evolution. It's really cool to see that. Really cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you. Thanks to Locker and to the questions from the jury as well. Also, again, before moving on, for the people that are watching is at home, at their offices, whatever, please do use the chat to ask questions. We are making efforts to reply, and the startup speakers are also replying to those questions. So if you are, I'm sure you have many doubts and questions about the solution, so use the chat. And now moving on to the last pitch of this deep tech pitch session at NOS Startup World. With since we're talking about deep tech, now we're talking about quantum mechanics and computer-aided drug design. I'm sure Pedro Lopes is going to explain it really well. So welcome, Pedro, and the stage is yours. I believe you are muted, Pedro.
Yes, I was. Thank you so much. I'm Pedro Lopes, the founder of Vasco.
Pedro, you are muted again. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we are Vasco. I'm Pedro Lopes, the founder of this startup, and we care. We focus on care, in particular medical care, and in our, I mean, there are basically two ways, everything being perfect, where we can improve care. One is having cheaper and more effective medicines. The other is through better diagnosis. And we focus on these two areas. So we started, and this is our core business and our core research and development on drug discovery, in particular on early stages of the drug design process. We have highlighted here the several steps until a medicine is approved, and we focus on basically the drug discovery stage, the very early, and efficacy and safety. So we do this through quantum mechanics and artificial intelligence. And it's important to note that the savings we have in these two early stages are multiplicative, and we'll be able to save many millions, hundreds of millions and hundreds of dollars throughout the whole process. And these values are for each single drug. So. But there's more about this, because when the pandemic struck, the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have experts in the team in artificial intelligence, computer graphics, and computer vision, we started to see news, particularly from China, where they were using CT scans and artificial intelligence to diagnose COVID. So we developed our solution we call FastNet, which is a machine learning solution that instead of CT scans uses X-rays. I can explain later why we choose X-rays. And we have very really high accuracies detection rates. We use for the development to highly reputable data sets, publicly available. And we move this platform to diagnose other conditions, and we currently focus on pulmonary conditions. So I must say we are able to detect 14 pulmonary diseases that are not excluding COVID. And we started the process of extending our platform to other non-pulmonary conditions, in particular Parkinson's and breast cancer. So the underlying technology is artificial intelligence and medical imaging. That's why we focus on this, in particular breast cancer. Parkinson is a bit tough. So how can we do this? Because we are a small team. We have some core values in our company. One is open-mindedness. We are open to do things that are within our reach, but even if it's outside our comfort zone. And I'm a quantum chemist by training, and basically did an academic career. The other core value we have is interdisciplinarship, because in our team, and this it was by design from the beginning, we brought people with very different skills, and basically we team, the chemistry, quantum mechanics experience with AI, computer graphics, and computer vision. And this allows us to do one thing that we call circularity of ideas and technology. So this is basically where we are and who we are. So Sergio is the computer science expert, and Victor has very broad experience in business development and management. Thank you for your time.
I seem to be going first every time, so I don't want to steal anyone else's questions. Maybe Miguel or Tomás, if you'd like to go first.
Sure. I can go first. So Pedro, thank you very much for your presentation. So let me give you like a quick view. My feeling was okay. I feel it's incredible what you're developing, but I need a bit more tangibility, a more concrete example of what you're doing and how you're doing. And can you give me something more concrete so that we all can an example of how you are applying
use case.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. I mean, for the medical diagnosis, we have a platform fully developed that can detect, I mean, now COVID. So we are, trying to partner with hospitals to run the required clinical trials. It has been very difficult to find hospitals in Portugal, so we are reaching out to hospitals in France and in Denmark. To do this, to run these clinical trials. For the drug design, computer-aided drug design, I mean, it's my core activity, and we have a partnership with the University of Manchester to develop something we call, I mean, it will be one of very big evolution in the area, which is what we call a quantum fingerprint. So with this, I mean, there are in cheminformatics things called fingerprints that are based on the structure of the molecules. We are using, quantum mechanics to develop, a better identity of the molecule that, represents its reactivity and all the properties that derive from that molecule. So that's why we are teaming with the computer scientists in computer vision, because basically we are, reaching to a point where, it's a really kind of outlandish idea, but that's what we really need to have a breakthrough in this area, because we don't have a progress in the last 34 years. So the technologies we use now, it's basically what was developed in the 80s. And we are trying to fight against that.
Thank you.
And in terms of, sorry, Tomas, I don't know if you have other questions. No. And in terms of, Pedro, by the way, thank you for your presentation. In terms of accuracy, how are your numbers overall?
Well, for the COVID, which is what we have more developed, it's 99 point, I mean, I put here 3, but, actually we can go a little higher. So basically in 5,000 images, which is the data set we have, and we did this with pneumonia. So we include pneumonia images in the data, in the training. So it's pneumonia, COVID, and LC in 5,000 images. Which about 2,000 are COVID. We have like, a few 5 or 6 that we miss. And we are talking about confusing, COVID with pneumonia, which is really hard. But, we have several changes in our system that allows to do that. It's very, we have a really high accuracy.
Okay, and one last question. How is the medical class accepting this? Because it's for them it's always an issue to give others and namely to AI the power to detect based on an algorithm if it is or not a disease or whatever. So how are you seeing the response from their part?
Well, I must say, amazing. I mean, we didn't go through with that clinical trial in a district hospital in Portugal last year because the administration didn't sign it yet. But we had the head of pneumology, asking us to develop a system where they could actually do the automatic annotation of all X-rays, because at that hospital they have 4 radiologists, 2 are contractors. So for the whole volume of patients, they, none or only a few X-rays are actually analyzed and seen by a radiologist. I never expected to have a medical doctor saying that. I must say that this afternoon I will meet with another district hospital in Portugal, to run these clinical trials. And by the way, I mean, we are proposing this as technology for the emergency room, to do a fast screening of patients, and this is something they really need. And I don't have a doctor. I mean, a practitioner, hospital practitioner that in radiology and pneumology that said, that felt threatened by this. They always say, if you put this if you're able to put this in the emergency room, it will really improves our our service and actually our workloads, because it's a fast way of screening patients and avoiding like the scenes we saw last year with hundreds of patients accumulating in emergency rooms and nobody knowing what really what to do with them. So this is another way we are proposing the technology, and we are discussing with hospitals, to move forward. I mean, this is not, we don't want to do any replacement of the PCR test or anything like that. So this is a complementary technology that, will improve the standard of care and the efficiency of the hospitals. That's basically how we are proposing it right now. Of course, if we
Pedro, sorry, just to interrupt, but we've got a minute over time on the answer at the moment. I want to try and get one in very quickly. So just with regards to the stage of development that you're at the moment, how far are you away from having a complete solution?
No, we have the complete solution. We are waiting for the clinical trials.
Okay, and how long would that be?
I would say 6 months, because it's a retrospective clinical trial. So basically, we don't need to enroll any new patients. So we just need access to the hospital's databases of, annotated images. That's it.
That's great. Thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Pedro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, Cam. So that's it for the presentations in this morning on Deep Tech here at NOS Startup World. I would like to thank a lot first of all, to the startups that came and applied and went through the whole process and did an amazing job pitching to everybody. Then, of course, to the amazing jury for having really disruptive questions, trying to shake things up. And that's it for this morning. I hope to see everybody in this afternoon session here again at NOS Startup World, where we'll talk about 5G. And we have a couple of sessions prior to this pitching session. So make sure you are here at about 4 p.m. Portuguese time. So thank you all. And that's it for this morning. Again, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, João.